All right, shalom, shalom, AHPARYAM. All right, this is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Come with another lesson to the Spirit. The Lord willing is be edifying to the Lord's elect. All right, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Yahawadah. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Shalom to the AHPARYAM out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's going to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. All right, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. You Israelite foreigners out there, all right, you speckled bird Israelites that live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations, all right, but your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. All right, I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakatham. Salat. All right, so the name of this lesson is going to be the balance of one's household. All right, the balance of one's household. Okay. Salakia. I'm gonna be grateful, man, when we don't have to hear this noise no more. Shit. So, the topic of this lesson, all right, pretty much is going to be given with a tad bit of sugar, you know what I'm saying, to even out the spice, you know what I'm saying, because for some reason, you know what I'm saying, for some reason, this type of topic is ultra sensitive amongst Israel, you know what I'm saying, even among certain camps who call themselves leaders amongst Israel, you know what I'm saying, teachers, right? But, you know, this is primarily because, you know, to keep it blunt, just to keep it blunt with you, man, you Israelites, all right, you've been in the West too goddamn long. You know what I'm saying? You just been in the West too long, man. All right? You've been over here under Esau's system all your lives, man. So this is all you know, right? So you're in, let's say, you are, as the term goes, westernized, right? You're westernized. Let me look that word up. Westernized. All right, westernized. It says to convert to the customs of Western civilization. All right, to make something Western in character. Westernization, also known as Europeanization, all right, is a process whereby societies come under or adopt what is considered to be Western culture in areas such as industry, technology, science, education, politics, economics, lifestyle, law, norms, all right, customs, traditions, so on and so forth, right? So that's pretty much what you are. You're westernized, okay? And that's why when many of the times we go into the law, it's hard for many to stomach it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for many to deal with this. All right, especially with the topic that we about to get into. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and it's no different. All right, it's no different from you know, what things were over 2,000 years ago. It was the same thing back then. All right, you Jakes back then were known as Hellenized. Today you're westernized. Back then, over 2,000 years ago, you were Hellenized. Right? So let's also look up that word. Okay, Hellenized or Hellenization. Hellenization, the definition means Hellenization is let me get that. Let me get that straight. Tongue twister. All right, let me read it again. It says Hellenization is the adoption of Greek culture, religion, language, and identity by non-Greeks. All right. In the ancient period, colonization often led to the Hellenization of indigenous peoples. All right. So that's just a brief summary of what the word Hellenization means. Okay. So the same way you were back then is the same way you are right now. Okay. And that's what we're breaking out of, right? That's what this is all about. Going into the customs of our ancestors of how we were back then is a means of us breaking out of these these customs that we find ourselves in today. All right, because like the scriptures say, seek the old paths. As a matter of fact, let me look that up. Let me see. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. It reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. All right. Those that are westernized and remain in this mind state, all right, they're not going to walk in those old paths. Okay. So that's just the brunt of it all, right? And I said, the same way you're westernized today is no different than how you were back 2,000 years ago. So let's go to Ecclesiastes. Let's hit Ecclesiastes chapter 1. All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. All right, and it reads, it says, the thing that hurt, Salaki, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. All right, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. All right. So with that being said, all right, if you're a woman, and this may be hard for you to stomach, all right, I advise you to relax. All right, relax, take a breather, pray that Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi gives you clarity, grab a cup of ginger tea, all right, and follow along with the scriptures, right? So grab your Bibles, okay? So we're going to listen to this video from the YouTube channel, all right? You see the Crimson Cure, all right? This is the YouTube channel, the Crimson Cure. And we're going to break down a couple things, all right? Because, the thing about the household being ran properly is a basic fundamental building block, all right, within the culture of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? You go back into the history, all right? You go back to the laws. It's all built around the functioning family. You know what I'm saying? The structure, all right? And these things were instructed by our Heavenly Father within the laws given to the prophet Moses. All right? So let's listen to a couple minutes of this.
How do you tell your wife that your side piece is pregnant?
Yeah.
Ooh, are you sure it's yours?
Oh, yeah.
Are you trying to be with your side? Like, are you have feelings for your side piece? How long has this been going on?
8 years.
8 years. That's your girlfriend.
You said 8 years or 1 year?
8.
8 years.
God.
Ooh. So, does your side piece think that you're about to leave your wife?
Hell no, I can't do that though.
Wait, how long have you been with your wife?
8 years.
We've been together 20 years.
Okay, 20 years. Do you think your wife knows about your side piece though? Because usually 8 years she knows something.
Nah.
Are you sure?
How are you, I mean, not to blow your spot, but how are you keeping that separate for that long?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Were you ever thinking about ending things with your side piece, or you just wanted it to continue like this forever?
I wanted to stay a secret. That's why it's a secret.
How many kids do you have kids with your wife?
Yeah, 1.
Do you still love your wife?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think she's gonna say when you tell her?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
8 years is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time, man.
What are you gonna do if she leaves you? Are you gonna be with your side piece then?
Nah. She ain't wiping me, sir.
8 years of this? So how do you know for sure that's yours?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Man,
Why is she not wifey material if she's been your side piece for 8 years?
Because she was putting up with that.
There it go.
Yeah, he don't respect it.
At all.
Which is crazy. Yeah, he don't respect her because she's the side piece for 8 years dealing with the wife's leftovers.
So wait,
let me ask you this. So when your wife calls and you're with her, she just stay quiet?
Yeah.
Wow.
She knows the wife is priority.
Wait, so she doesn't, the side piece doesn't think she's going to be a main piece.
No, she ain't.
Okay, but she does want to have your baby.
Yeah.
Wow. So she hasn't dated, the side piece doesn't date anybody else but you?
Yep.
Can you afford another baby?
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Oh, well, that might not be up
listen,
to
first and
you.
Foremost, you got yourself in a position, you got to handle your responsibilities. Man, you think you want them to meet each other, the wife and the side piece? Because they're going to have to.
Oh no, that can't happen.
Do they know each other?
Nah.
Because there's a kid involved now, and you can't neglect your child, right?
Yeah, but dang.
Oh, no, man. Good luck with this one. Maybe you should go watch Fences, that movie. All right.
Yeah, your wife's about to be Viola Davis.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out.
Before I get...
And this is fair use. This is fair use. All right. Not making any money from this. All right. No monetization.
To the part where he's not respecting the side chick and the side chicks don't really win anything. Fellas, why do y'all do this? Why do y'all lie about this? Why y'all be lying about this? You know you want 2 wives. You know you want 2 wives. That other lady is not a mistake. She not a one-off. She's not just she's a whole wife. That man has for 8 years. Listen, I'm asking the fellas, the ones who would do this or who don't think there's nothing wrong with this. Why do y'all lie about it? You see what the lie get? Do you see what the lie does? It don't work. The lie don't work. The lie does not work. And you lied to the wrong one. You lied to the wrong woman. You lied to the one you quote unquote want. That's the wrong woman to lie to. It may be difficult for y'all to believe that, but that's the wrong woman to lie to. The wrong woman to lie to, the one, listen. It puts y'all, and this is for the guys, just briefly. Keeping up a lie for this long, for this much, puts guys like this guy in a delusional state. He's in delusion. He has believed his own lies. Okay? The first thing he thinks is that his wife is too stupid to figure out that she has shared him for half their marriage. This is not a one time where she wouldn't know. She wouldn't know because I only did it one time with no. Half their marriage. They've been together 20. He been with that woman 8. That's pretty much half of the marriage. that you have had a second wife. I don't care that you couldn't go down to the state justice of the peace and get that paper, because you have done everything for that second woman that you've done for that wife, including give her a child. You've done everything. You can't convince me that for almost 10 years you don't pay that woman's bills, that you don't pay that woman's lifestyle, that you don't give her everything, your time, your sex, your money, your energy, your everything, and now your seed. You've given her everything that you give your wife. That's your wife.
All right. So with that put in place, let's get started with this lesson. Now this situation, all right, that we just heard, it's a very precarious one because it's so unstable. All right, it's so unstable. You see what I'm saying? And the reason for the instability is due to the lack of transparency. That's pretty much the only thing that's making this so unstable. You see what I'm saying? It's something so simple, yet it morphed into something so big. All right, the lack of transparency. First of all, homeboy was dealing with a chick that he doesn't care too much for. All right. So he says. Yet at the same time, he cared enough to deal with the woman for nearly a decade, right? So there's some emotion there. You see what I'm saying? There's feelings there. Regardless of what he wants to say. Because, nigga, it don't matter who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? As a man, if you're dealing with somebody for almost 10 years, bro, you know what I'm saying? There's feeling there. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about men is that the Lord designed us in such a way where we can have, all right, emotional attachments to multiple women. You see what I'm saying? And deal with multiple women. There's a double standard there because it's not the same for women. All right. Even though it may seem that way, but it's not really. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole different hormonal change that happens within a woman when we're gonna jump into that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna deal with that. But just to stay on course, all right. You know what I'm saying? Just like Kendra said, or the Crimson Cure, just like she said, this guy's effectively had a second wife. All right. The whole time, 8 years, he's effectively had a second wife. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's nothing strange per se because a man, it's in a man's nature to be polygamous, meaning having more than one wife. It's in a man's nature to do that. You see what I'm saying? Our forefathers, right? You go through the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Our forefathers had many wives. All right? It's written all throughout the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find a couple instances, man, because we had look at this. I got a list of men amongst Israel, all right, and within the scriptures who were polygamous, man. You know what I'm saying? They had multiple wives. And that's just what's recorded. You see? That's just what's recorded in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You had Lamech. Lamech was the great great grandson of Cain. All right? You had let's go there. Let's go to Genesis 4. Let's check out Lamech. All right, so these so this was one of the this is the lineage going down from Cain. All right, the elder or the brother of Abel. See what I'm saying? So let's see. Genesis chapter 4, verse 19. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. All right. So yeah, man. You know, Cain had a whole lineage, and Lamech was the first one recorded to have multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? You had Abraham. Abraham had Hagar. He had Keturah. He had Sarah. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Esau had multiple wives. He had 3 wives. You got Jacob. Jacob had 4 wives. That's where we get the 12 tribes. All right. He had Leah. He had Rachel. He had Bilhah. He had Zilpah. All right. You know, when you go into the history of Jacob, all right, this situation that we just heard about it's nothing new. It's nothing new. Right? It's nothing new, because when Jacob was working for the father of Rachel, all right, he worked for her father for 7 years just so he could marry Rachel. Rachel was the one that he really wanted. Rachel had to have been a bad girl, man, a bad chick. You know what I'm saying? Like real sexy. All right. But after working for her father for 7 years, all right, her father had tricked Jacob and gave Jacob Leah instead, who was Rachel's sister. All right. But Jacob didn't want Leah. He wanted Rachel. You see? So what did he do? He ended up working another 7 years. All right. Rachel had to have been some fine piece, man. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, but at the same time, the Lord opened up Leah's womb, and she bore most of the children of the 12 tribes. Most of the tribes came out of Leah, right? So, but he also had 2 concubines, all right, Bilhah and Zilpah, all right? Let's see. So that's one scenario where the one wife is the one that's wanted, and the other wife is the one that's not wanted. You know what I'm saying? It's the one that's not really cared about much. All right. You know, you go to Moses. Moses had 2 wives. All right. Let's see. Who else? King Saul. King Saul had many wives. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he had 2 wives. It's like he had 2 wives. King David had many wives. I think it was like 8. You know, you had who else? I think you had Samson. I think Samson had a couple wives. You know what I'm saying? King Solomon had what was it? 300 wives, 700 concubines. Right? Real quick, let me look that up. Let's see, 1 Kings chapter, let's see. First Kings chapter 11. All right. And let's get verse 3. 1 Kings 11 and 3, it reads, and he, let's see. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. All right. And that's one of the things that we were told not to do. We was told not to make wives of these other nations. All right, we're only supposed to make concubines of these other nations, wives of our own kindred, concubines of the other heathen nations. You see what I'm saying? And that's where King Solomon was messing up at. You see? It's not like we can't, it's not that we can't deal with these other heathen. You know what I'm saying? We can't, if I want to, I could deal with a Moabite chick, a Chinese woman. I could deal with a Filipino woman. I could deal with a chick from Ammon, so-called Japanese or Arab. All right, I can deal with any chick. All right, but I ain't supposed to marry him. You see what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to marry him. So, but yeah, that's just a small example of what we got, you know what I'm saying, in the scriptures. All right. Like I said, that's just recorded. You know what I'm saying? But, monogamy is actually a new thing that was instituted by Esau. You know what I'm saying? That's actually new. We didn't go through that. All right. It's actually unnatural. It's unnatural for a man to only have one. All right. Let's prove that. Let's go to Genesis chapter 9. All right, Genesis chapter 9 and verse 6. It reads, "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he man. In the image of God made he man." Verse 7. "And you be ye fruitful and multiply." All right, be ye fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. All right, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? You do that through multiple women, not just one. Not just one. Right? There's another instance. Let me see. Who else was that? King Ahijah. All right, King Ahijah. All right, he ruled over Judah, and guess what? He had 14 wives. You know what I'm saying? 14 wives. And of those 14 wives, he fathered 22 sons. 22 sons and 16 daughters. All right, so 22 sons and 16 daughters. That's what? That's 38 children. All right, 38 children. You see what I'm saying? And the scriptures say that we're going to go back to that. All right, we're going to go back to those ways. All right, having dozens and dozens and dozens of children. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to be immortal, so we're going to have thousands upon thousands, millions of children, man. Don't get me started. You see what I'm saying? The scriptures say that a little one shall become 1,000. All right, and a small one, and what was it? A little one, a small nation. Let me get that. I don't want to butcher it. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 60. All right, Isaiah chapter 60, verse 22, it says, "A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. All right, I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time." So in the times that's coming, man, you know what I'm saying, in the kingdom, we're going to have many children, man. Innumerable. You see what I'm saying? Innumerable. All right, that's why we're going to branch off into other planets. All right, we're going to have so many children. It's hey, man. But let's get back to it, man. Try not to stray too far. But, let me go back to Genesis chapter 9. Let me read that again. Salaki, I swayed off track a little bit. Get back on course. Get back on course. All right, this is Genesis chapter 9. Where was I? Genesis chapter 9 and verse 7. It says, "And you be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein. And the Most High spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you. All right? And with your seed after you. Let's look up this word for seed. Okay? Going to the word for seed in the Blue Letter Bible. All right?
Strong's H2233. Zerah.
All right. In the Hebrew, it's Zarai. Zavrai. So it's Zarai. In the Hebrew, it's Zarai. Okay? And that word in the Hebrew, Zarai, talking about your seed, let's look it up. It says seed, sowing, offspring. All right? Seed. Virile is semen. Offspring, descendants, posterity, children of moral quality. All right? So yeah, man, it's talking about your lineage. It's talking about your seed. It's talking about your offspring, your children. You know what I'm saying? So now, after pointing that out, the flip side to this is that it's unnatural for a woman. Now, I told you that it's unnatural for a man to have only one wife, but on the flip side, it's unnatural for a woman to have multiple men, which is also known as it's known as polyandry. All right? It's unnatural for a woman to have more than one man. Okay? And many complications, as we're already seeing, results in a woman having more than one man. You see? When you look at the amount of STDs, you know what I'm saying? When you look at the amount of mental disorientation amongst women today, you know what I'm saying? All right. I just saw a study today. 1 out of 4 women are on antidepressants. You see what I'm saying? This is the result of that whole sexual revolution, the whole sexual freedom. All right. This is what it has done to you, because it's not in your nature to have more than one man. All right. You're designed to become acclimated to one man. That's the point. You're designed to be acclimated to one man. Let me look at that word for acclimated. All right, acclimate. Acclimate. Okay. All right, so acclimate. It says to accustom or become accustomed to a new environment or situation, to adapt. All right? To habituate. All right, to habituate to a climate not native or acclimatize. Okay? So to adjust or to adapt. That's what that means. So you're designed to adjust or to adapt to one man. You're not designed to do that to multiple men. You see what I'm saying? Let's get this in the book of Genesis. Let's stay in Genesis chapter 3. All right. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. It reads, Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. All right? If you women I find something interesting with you women. You know what I'm saying? And it's always fascinated me when you watch a man that you have feelings for, that you have affection for, you know what I'm saying, for some strange reason, you know what I'm saying, you like to watch him while he eats. You ladies ever notice that? You like to watch a man while he eats. That's one thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed, you like to steal a man's hoodie so you can wear it on your own. You know what I'm saying? Why do you do that? You ladies ever ask yourself that question? Why do you do that? Why do you take a guy's hoodie? You know what I'm saying? You just kidnap a man's hoodie and you just gotta wear it. You gotta smell it. You gotta just be a part of it. Why? It's because you're acclimated to that man. All right? You're acclimated to that man. You have adjusted to that man. Okay? That's the reason for that. All right? So, you know, the point is, you're not designed to do that to multiple men. You're not designed to be that way. You're not men. You see? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 24. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 1 reads, "When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife." She may go and be another man's wife. But check this part out. Verse 3. "And if the latter husband," all right, the second husband, "if he hates her and writes her a bill of divorce," all right, so if she's taking that same foolishness with her, and she brings it to the next husband, and he don't like her neither, you see what I'm saying? If she's being unruly and all that type of stuff, and writes her a bill of divorcement as well, and giving it in her hands, and sendeth her out of his house, or if he dies, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance." Why? It's because the land is greatly polluted. You see what I'm saying? The land is greatly polluted now. All right? You can't let that linger. All right? So, you know, there's so many studies that's coming out now, or so much that's exposing the fact that, you know, not only is it problematic with STD, sexual transmitted disease, but it's also coming out that the DNA that you have from other men, it stays with you. All right, that stays with you. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because women are built to receive, not give. They're built to receive. Biologically, they're built to receive. Men are biologically designed to give. That's why we're known as husbandmen. When you look at the word husbandman, it goes into farming. All right, a farmer, he does what? He sows seed. and he puts the seed into the ground. That's what a husband does. And we just got the word for seed. It's zarai. All right. So that's what the husband is meant for. You see? And you women are not designed to be that. Right? And a woman's not meant to be stacking up bodies and all that stuff, man. You know, I got 20 bodies, I got 50 bodies, 100 bodies, 200 bodies, 1,000. Like, this shit is madness. It's madness. All right? And then then these chicks turn around and they demand that you ignore her past. That's not how it works, man. It's not how it works. You see what I'm saying? Now, in the case of what we heard in the video, this man and his wife, all right, the so-called side chick, right? He's been with this woman for 8 years, okay? While he was with his wife for 20 years. Now, you need to think about this and don't have your emotions involved. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. It would have been much easier had the man just opened up. He had just been open and honest with his wife to begin with. You see what I'm saying? If he was that way from the start, it would have been much different. Because the woman, like I said, the woman she had to have known that he was with another woman. And of course, the side chick already knew that this man was married. You see? Now we got into the law that lets it be known that men can have multiple women. They can have multiple wives. Right? You know what I'm saying? I might get a couple more precepts, you know what I'm saying, before we zip up out of here. But you know, it would have been much easier if he had been transparent with them. All right? He was already dealing with the second woman for so long. You know what I'm saying? And obviously his wife knew to some degree. We don't know how much. You know what I'm saying? But she had to have known. He could have brought the side chick in to become his second wife. All right? After they all sat down and had a cordial conversation. That could have happened. Okay? Because he said what? He said he won't leave his wife. He really cares about his wife. He said that she said that she's the wife. You know what I'm saying? All right. He also said that the second wife is not wife material. But at the same time, she hasn't been dealing with anyone else. He's the only one that she would be willing to deal with. You see? And she dealt with him for 8 years. So even though she's not married, she's not so-called wife material, she's still to a great degree of loyal. You see what I'm saying? So you couple that with the type of wife that you have, okay? And if you all would have sat down and actually had a conversation about this, okay, it could have worked out. Could have worked out much easier. Now it's gonna have to be forced. You see what I'm saying? But it didn't have to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Now on the flip side, if the wife couldn't accept it, well, you know, at the very least you were transparent and honest with her. You know what I'm saying? And this scenario is covered in our laws, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get it. Let's go to Exodus chapter 21. Exodus chapter 21, verse 15. It reads, and he that smiteth his no, that's not it. Slakia. Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. It reads, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. All right. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. You see what I'm saying? If he doesn't give the second wife her raiment, if he doesn't provide for food, if he doesn't provide for the things that she needs, like clothes, a roof over her head, all right? If he doesn't provide her those things, okay, then she's free to go, all right? But without money. So all this talk about alimony and child support and this and that, that's not how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? The reason why is because it would be an incentive for a woman to leave, you see, which is why you have 80% of all divorces in America initiated by women. If it was kept according to our laws, that number from 80% would drop dramatically. You see, because they're not being incentivized to leave. All right. Because divorce court and Title 4D, all right, these jokers get all that money. They're banking off of you women leaving your marriages. You see what I'm saying? But under the laws, all of this comes into alignment. All right. You get yourself a second wife, you're supposed to treat her no differently. You know what I'm saying? Treat her with the same level of respect. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Hit 21 and verse 15. Trying to close this out soon. I want to keep this under an hour. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 15. It reads, "If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children," all right, in this situation, both of those women have borne this man children. You see what I'm saying? So this is all him. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. All right. Now, the benefit in this man's case is that his firstborn came from the one that he loves. You see? So the double portion of the inheritance goes to the child of the one that he loves. You see? So that actually works in his favor, But, this is an orderly way to conduct a household in terms of adding to the family an additional wife. You see? You see how the laws work? All right? And if the laws were applied in this situation, the household could have another helping hand. That's one. It could have another helping hand. The side chick can have a covering, which is given in honor. That's number two. And the children can be siblings under the same house, which keeps away confusion regarding inheritance and lineage. You see, both the children are coming from the same father. It's not this weirdo scenario where this woman has all these children, 4 or 5 children, and they got like 4 or 5 different baby daddies. All right, so all these children, all these 5 children each have different fathers. You see what I'm saying? It's confusion. It's confusion. But if this one man has 5 wives, they all have children, all of the children know who their father is. You see what I'm saying? All the children know who their father is. There's no confusion there. You see? It's very different. It's not chaotic. It's orderly. That's how it's supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how you conduct your household in adding an additional wife. You know what I'm saying? According to the laws. You know, but if this whole thing could have been done honestly and transparently, I truly believe it would have been much different. You know what I'm saying? Very much different. All right. And I know this is a very, a very difficult subject to get into because a lot of people are, like I said, westernized. But coming into the truth, you're going to have to seek the old paths. You know what I'm saying? Because indeed, that is the good way. So I'm going to cut that there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi Bahashem HaHakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.